Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. My name is Calvin Johnson. I'm still here with the Honorable Jackson K. George. He's the Executive Director of the Liberian Business Association here in the diaspora. Mr. George, earlier on before we took a break, we were discussing the impact that Liba can make in the Liberian economy. So let me pose this question to you. If Liba were to make an impact in the Liberian economy and work alongside with the government, what do you think is best for the incoming administration to do as far as placing Liba into the private sector or embedding Liba into the private sector to help grow the Liberian economy?
Well, I think one of the things that we've discussed as a leadership of Liba is when we started to look at how we can have an impact in Liberia and how that impact can be aggressive. We're saying, let's take for instance, if we were on LU board or GFK for that matter, or Maritime, we will have direct information as to what's happening because we're on the board. And I would just give an example for GFK. If we have a Liberian doctor who owns a clinic, like we got Dr. Twig, he owns a couple of clinics in California, and he's serving on GFK board. Now, as a board member, he has direct, he can lobby directly with hospitals, clinics, to get the kind of equipment we need to supply GFK. So he will be talking to the businesses directly in the United States to say, look, this is what we need, how can you help? So to have an extra person from the diaspora on a board of that nature is not only helpful to GFK, but to the entire country. Because he will be able to say, if this equipment, if we already have this at GFK, I can send it to Phoebe Hospital, or I can send it to Jackson Hebdo Hospital in Nimba. So these are things that we are looking at and say, let's let the new administration come in, let's start building this relationship, let's start looking at ways we all as Liberians can support our country. And I think the issue of, for people to believe that some Liberian own the country, Liberia is for all of us. And the development of Liberia rests on all of our shoulders. So I don't blame one person for where we are or where we're supposed to be. It's our responsibility as Liberians, and that's our responsibility to help to develop our country.
So in other words, you are just saying plain blank that in order for the incoming administration to work effectively with the Liberian Business Association here in the diaspora, Liba needs to be strategically placed within, from a business standpoint, to help grow other sectors.
Correct.
Take, for instance, the healthcare they just named, it's public works.
Correct.
All right, so they'll be able to help bring in concessions or construction companies to work alongside with the Ministry of Public Works to help develop and build roads and hospitals and clinics. Is that what you just?
Exactly, and those are things that we need to do. Look, we got Liberian construction company in the United States that are doing well. If you can have a Liberian-owned construction company in the United States that is doing well, why don't we attract that company back home? Why do we need Chinese to come and do it when we have Liberians doing well in the United States? Again, I got nothing against the Chinese, but what I'm saying is Liberians need to start understanding that for us to grow and develop the way we want to grow, we need to start trusting Liberians again. We need to trust each other. Yes, there will be mistakes along the way, but those mistakes are good mistakes because we need Liberians to be able to do these things to build our country the way we want to build it. But the issue is we don't trust Liberians. We always say that, oh, if you got a Liberian to do this, it will never be done well.
But Mr.
But that's
Judge,
wrong concept.
You talk about trusting Liberians. The business association is a different entity. It's not one person owned business.
Correct.
This is a conglomeration of Liberian businesses. So if the Liberian government will have to work with the Liberian Business Association, trust must be built to some extent in order to get things done.
Correct.
So when you talk about not trusting Liberians, from what perspective are you talking?
Look, just for some of our businesses to penetrate the market, in Liberia has been tough. And if you see us going to Liberia more often, it's because we're trying to build a relationship and to tell them, say, look, you can trust us. Even if you don't trust our individual businesses, trust the Liberian Business Association in the diaspora. We can work with you to ensure that whatever contract that is signed between your entity and the member of the Liberian Business Association, we stand behind that. And so it's taking us a long time to build a relationship, to penetrate the market, and that's why I'm saying we don't trust each other. There's nothing wrong if there's a contract, you can give it to a Ghanaian company in Ghana. When a Liberian can do the same contract and do it even better and have it delivered to you the next day. We got flights leaving from here. Let's take, for instance, if you're having the inaugural program in Liberia and you needed a program printed. Why send it to Ghana? Why send it to Nigeria? When you got Liberians who can do it and do it better and fly it to Liberia in the same day.
Right.
You know, and so those are things that we're saying that it's not that you're not doing these things. You got telephone companies that can bring in and install telephones, but you get it from Indians.
Right.
When you can get it from Liberians who can install the same telephone and even install it better because he's doing it for his country. So those are things that we're saying the leadership needs to understand that, yes, before we're not organized.
Right.
And I don't blame them for it. We're not organized. People have come and said they can do business and they come back to the United States and do nothing. Now we are organized. We are identifying these businesses. We are taking these businesses to Liberia and we are asking Liberians in the private sector, government agencies and others, trust us. Give us the opportunity to develop our country. If you give an Indian the contract, the profit goes to India. If
Right.
you give me a contract, that profit goes to Liberia.
And
recycle right back into our community. And so I think we need to reset our minds. We've reached a point where we can't afford to do the things that we used to do any longer.
Well, Mr. Judge, there is another thing that, since I've been doing some research on the Liberian Business Association before I came closer to this interview, I also consider risk factor. Because
Right.
as you know, in any business, trust and there is a risk factor plan. So what can you say as far as the Liberian government or Liberian businesses in Liberia that should be considering, contracts that you just mentioned, contract with Liberian Business Association in the diaspora instead of giving it to outsourcing it to another company that is not part of the Liberian Business Association? What is that risk factor or factors that are involved outsourcing those contracts and jobs to those companies?
I think every business, there's some risk involved in every business, every transaction. There's always risk. I don't see anything different from giving a contract to an Indian or a Nigerian or Ghanaian as compared to giving a contract to a Liberian. And the risks are the same. What I'm saying is that we have an institution in place that we're serving as our own Better Business Bureau. We are vetting most of the companies that are coming in are being vetted. And not only that, but the Liberian Business Association leadership is taking these companies to Liberia. It's not like they're going on their own and they're trying to secure these contracts. They're coming through Liba-Usa. So my goal is to continue the dialogue with government agencies, with autonomous agencies, with the private sector, and say, look, we need to work together to be able to achieve what we all need to achieve, and that is to driving our economy and developing at a speed that we've never done before, because development is too slow. And we need rapid development because we got too many young people in Liberia not working. I think when people are not working and their minds are, it's like time bomb. They're sitting down, they're not engaged. We need to engage them. We're looking at, even if you have polytechnic, even if you have a technical school that you can train people to be mechanics or carpenters. I mean, those are things that we need to invest in and make sure that we've got these young people off the street doing something that is productive. If you look at that, a lot of the young people are riding motorbike on the street.
Right.
Well, that's good that they got a motorbike association and they're trying to get out to do stuff. But we need more than that. We need people who will be able to get jobs that will pay them to be able to send their children to school, will be able to, take care of their families and save some money. So it's just not fending for themselves in the way they're doing it, but to be more organized and so that they can grow their family, so that they can have some faith that my child tomorrow will go to school and be someone, and take care of itself and take care of me. So those are things that we need. We need guaranteed jobs. We need guaranteed safety net that Liberians can pay into. And it takes us as Liberians to be able to support those initiatives, and government can do it alone.
The Liberian Business Association phone directory, or business directory, so to speak. Let's talk about that when we take another break and come back.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. My name is Calvin Johnson. We continue our interview with the Honorable Jackson K. George. He is the Executive Director of the Liberian Business Association. Mr. George, earlier on we were talking, just before the break, we're talking about getting more information on the upcoming newsletter and your business directory. What is all about that?
I think, Kevin, if you would give me an opportunity to show you this. This is a flag that we have crafted. It is more of a membership flag. Every member of our business association will have this. You can put on your wall that you're a proud member of the Liberian Business Association. The membership directory is more of a business directory. And the idea is to have resources in our community that Liberians can make use of. I don't think a lot of Liberians around the diaspora understand the importance of supporting our businesses. Let alone, I don't know if they even know that we own businesses. So what we're trying to do now is to make it easier for Liberians. Mm-hmm. This directory, once completed, will be all over the United States. People can open it up. If you're looking for a dentist in Minnesota, you have it. If you're looking for a lawyer, immigration lawyer in Minnesota,
and you're talking about Liberian-owned businesses.
Liberian-owned businesses. Okay. If you're looking for restaurants in the Liberian-owned restaurants, you have it. You know, so I think it makes it easier. The excuse that we don't know where they are, or we don't know Liberians own these things. And in fact, some of our businesses, you never know they're Liberian businesses.
Right. But so my thing is, so let's say I'm in California, right? I left Chicago or Minnesota. I went to California on a vacation, went on the beach, right? And I'm looking for a Liberian restaurant to patronize or to eat my Liberian food.
Correct. So
and I go to your website and pull up your directory, because definitely you're gonna have it on your website.
Exactly.
And I pull it up and I come California, right? Okay. And I go to Los Angeles, which is the major commercial city in Los Angeles. And I'm looking for a Liberian restaurant. I type the Liberian restaurant. All of the Liberian restaurants within the Los Angeles area will show up.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
And that's exactly. And that's what we're saying to Liberian-owned business.
Okay.
Businesses, join the Liberian Business Association, be part of the network, so we can have the kind of a data that we need. I'll give you an example. Yola was having a program in Iowa. And if you look through the program, Liberian businesses did not even advertise in the program. So the question was, don't you guys know that Liberian businesses in Iowa? Yeah. So the Liberian Business Directory will serve well with our businesses, but also for other organizations that are coming into the different states to be able to access. Take for instance, if Grand Jita were having a convention in Arizona, and Liberians in Arizona, you can just type Liberian restaurant or Liberian nightclubs or Liberian owned this, and all of the lists will come out, and now you have a family you can go to. You have something familiar that you can identify with in your own Liberian. Right. So these are things that we are looking at, and that's the directory. And so our newsletter we're coming out
We'll,
of
we'll talk about the newsletter. I just want to make sure I put this out there before we go past to the next level. Now, so why are you limiting this to just Liberian-owned businesses instead of major Liberian organization or institution? And I give you an example. Say ULA. Say there's a foundation in Minnesota that cares for young girls. Get them into leadership role, the Kofa Foundation, and all institutions. Why are you not opening that to that?
well.
Instead of just businesses.
Well, I'm sorry. I think the directory, setting part of the directory will have Liberian organizations,
Right.
so that if you were visiting Minnesota or any state,
Mhm.
you can see all of the major Liberian organizations.
Okay.
I think it's an exposure for these organizations,
Okay.
so that people can see who they are. And so if you wanted to donate, I think that's something that we're working on our website, to be able to list all of the major organizations that we believe
Mhm.
that are doing stuff in the community, like you said, the Kofa Foundation, which is a very unique foundation. But we do have affiliate members. So outside of Liberian-owned businesses, we have affiliate members, and so those will be there. We'll be looking at the major institutions in all of the different states. So our directory over the period of time might be like the yellow pages. So it's a beginning. We'll start with where we can begin from, but I think in the long run we'll have a directory that will circulate in the diaspora and will be very beneficial to Liberians living in the diaspora, and even Liberians coming from home.
And let's talk about the newsletter. I see that you guys are in the move of putting together a newsletter. What is that newsletter all about? What are you going to be putting into that newsletter? What do we expect to see?
I think the newsletter will be informative. I think the idea is to inform Liberians in the diaspora of what we're doing as an organization. It will be a resource, a document that Liberians can look through and see who's doing what in a business environment in the United States, who's doing well. But I think collectively, if you look at us in the diaspora, how well we're doing businesses, if we can pull our resources together, I think we will do well. So the newsletter will carry Liberian businesses on the first page.
Right.
Major business will be able to educate Liberians as to who's doing what, when they open their business, how long they've been in business, what kind of product they have, and where you can, if you wanted to access the services, what you can do. So I think over the period of time, Liberian will get to understand who's doing what. I mean, you'll be amazed that we have a Liberian distributor in the United States. In fact, we got two, one in Minnesota, one in Texas. How many Liberians knew about that? Liberians ship a lot to Liberia when it comes to shipping a product to Liberia. How many people know what we ship every year to Liberia? We remit a lot of money to Liberia. How much do we remit from the United States? I mean, we need to start pulling data. How much do we contribute to the economy in Liberia? How much do we contribute to the economy in the United States? Even how much do we contribute from our cities, the cities that we are even located in? Those are the kind of data and information we want to be sharing when our newsletter start coming up. So take for instance, we live in Brooklyn Park. How many businesses we own in Brooklyn Park? How much do we contribute on a monthly basis to the economy in Brooklyn Park? Those are things that we want exposure on. And I think it will be a great thing.
Is it going to be a quarterly thing or monthly?
I think it's going to be a quarterly newsletter. We might start with first quarter, but if it makes sense, we might go to weekly, monthly newsletter, just to get it rolling. We might start monthly and go quarterly, but we're still in the works. So I will leave that with the department to make that decision based on the research and publicity and distribution methods.
Mr. Johnson, we want to say thank you so much for being a part of this all-important interview. We look forward to part 2 of this interview. Hopefully by then we will have had a new administration, a new president, and then we can go on or continue part 2 of this all-important interview. But just before we take leave of you, is there anything else that you would like to mention or say that we did not touch on?
Sure. I
I
think this segment was more set up for how Liba see its programs in Liberia. But I also want Liberians in the diaspora to understand that Liba, we take care of ourselves. One of the reasons for which we came together was to network among ourselves, to create a safety net that we need, to create the funding source for our own growth and development. and so we are not heavily focusing only on Liberia, but I think this segment was more for Liberia. But on the serious note, in terms of how we see Liberia from the diaspora and how Liberians in the diaspora see us, I want to let you know that most of us in the United States who own businesses here are U.S. citizens. The issue of citizenship in Liberia, dual citizenship, is important to a lot of Liberian-owned businesses. How we invest into Liberia, how you see us in Liberia, to even invest is key. So we'll start working with Yola to see how we can work to ensure that dual citizenship is part of the law in Liberia. But we also want the new administration coming in to see us as a partner, to see us as Liberians who are doing well in the diaspora and want to come home and contribute to our country growth and development. Most of the time we don't feel that the environment is conducive for us, or we don't have a fair chance to do business. And so the role of Liba will be to navigate those different routes, and to tell Liberians in the diaspora that it can be done, and that we must contribute to the growth and development of our homeland. And so with that, I want to say thank you for inviting me over at the studio here. As much as we can do to promote the interests of Liba in the diaspora and in Liberia, we will be doing that to ensure that Liberians in the diaspora are doing all we can to support our country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. We look forward to speaking with you on part 2 of our interview. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Liba TV. My name is Kelvin Johnson. Do join us next time. Have a good evening.